Moving on for now, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's engagements at the G20 summit in Osaka this week are now confirmed. Prime Minister Modi will be having a packed schedule once he lands in Osaka, Japan for the G20 summit. The Prime Minister will be holding 10 bilateral meetings and pull asides with global leaders, including US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Modi is expected to meet the leaders of Japan and the US as well as Russia and China in two different sets of trilaterals on the sidelines of the G20 summit that is scheduled from the 28th to 29th of June. This will be Prime Minister Modi's second bilateral meeting with Putin and Xi in 2 weeks after the SCO summit in Bishkek. Prime Minister Modi's meeting with US President Donald Trump assumes a greater significance in light of India's retaliatory tariff hikes on US goods, along with escalating tensions between Iran and the US, which are seeing a surge in oil prices, India's biggest import. Let's get in further details now from our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibul, joining us for more on that. Siddhant, the schedule now stands confirmed. It's going to be a packed 2 days for the Prime Minister once he lands in Osaka.
But yes, Molly, the Prime Minister will be leaving for Osaka on 27th and 28th and 29th will be two important and crucial days for the world community as well as for India. Remember, this is the sixth time that the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, is participating in the G20 summit from 2014 and the first in his second term. And he will be meeting a whole host of global leaders and will be having two important trilaterals. One, of course, the RIC meeting, the Russia-India-China meeting, which also happened in the last G20 summit in Argentina in Buenos Aires, which happened after a gap of 12 years, and also the J meeting, which is Japan, America and India meeting, in which of course he will be meeting US President Donald Trump. We know India will be focusing on issues such as economic offenders being provided safe havens by countries. Black money has been a crucial issue which the Indian Prime Minister has been raising since his first G20 in Brisbane in 2014, and we also know last year India talked about how there should be a common definition when it comes to economic offenders. Counter-terrorism is something that India has been very vocal about at various international forums, and this will be no different. So Indian Prime Minister will be strongly raising the issue of terrorism, especially cross-border terrorism. Other than that, it will be the issue of economic development and economic growth, because remember, G20 was primarily an economic forum which emerged after the 2008 financial crisis and now has become a political economic forum, a kind of a power club of world's developed and developing economies. So clearly India will have its plate full when it comes to this G20 summit, and we all know that India will be soon hosting the G20 summit. In 2022, India will be hosting G20 summit. This was of course announced last year at the Buenos Aires summit where the Indian Prime Minister also participated.